What's up, people? This is 1/3 of MediaShinobi, SJ Kujira, and sorry that no one else could be here today. We were all kind of busy, so and our schedule, got in conflict like before. But let's just get on with the view. Okay, here I'm here to review episode 8 of Spartacus War of the Damned, titled "Separate Paths." And usually I would make some kind of joke or something, but this episode just wow! I'm speechless. I just finished watching the episode and I'm like still like awestruck like the things that happened in this episode. And basically the episode opens up with Spartacus' group just still ahead of Crassus's legions, and lately they've been like running into like small like groups of Romans that they usually just like they fight off, and those are just groups to hold them off for a while for Crassus's group to come closer. And his legions are like 4 days away, so Spartacus is like really on the move. And at this point, Crassus and Spartacus have another disagreement, saying Spartacus wants to get past some mountains and like hopefully like, live there, or not live in the mountains, but separate a bit so they can get away from Crassus. They think that if they split the groups up into little groups, they would it'll be easier to avoid Crassus instead of like one big group. And Crassus says, no, we're not. I'm tired of running. We've been running for this whole time and nothing's getting done, and he's just tired of it. So he decides he wants to go straight to Rome itself. He wants to take the fight there while Crassus is away, because Crassus knows Crassus is away. No big armies are really protecting Rome, so he decides to go to Rome itself. And so, and it got to the point where Spartacus is like, you know what? If this is what you really want, then I won't stop you. Because they've fought each other multiple times throughout this season of like what to do, or if this way is the best way, or this way is the best way. But Spartacus at this point, like, if you truly, he pretty much says follow your own path. If you think this is the path that you should follow, then go for it, because I won't stop you. And so before they split ways, Spartacus asked Crassus to attack a little valley that has like 20 villas, like that Gannicus and Lugo found out. And he decides to ask Crassus to help him out, just to take this valley and the villas just for food, and also just throw a big ass wild party for Crassus in honor of him, which was like pretty cool. Like, I like seeing that. And we have a lot of good conversations with the characters, like, and it turns out Agron, who's been like always supportive of Spartacus, decides to go with Crassus and attack Rome, because he feels that at this point he doesn't see the same eye as Spartacus, and he agrees with Crassus, saying, okay, we can't always keep running. We gotta take these Romans out right here and now. So sadly, and he also asked Nasir to stay with Spartacus, because he knows it's still safe since they're gonna go a different way. And Nasir is at ground, let's have it was a tearful goodbye. It was very sad too. Like, they've been pretty tight, and they had a couple of stupid fights with that black pirate guy. I forgot his name. But other than that, they've been having a good relationship throughout the season, and it's sad for them to split up. And they're like, I gotta commend the performances with these people, because this episode felt mostly like how some movies or shows, pretty much it's like a goodbye episode, saying like all the characters are like having one last fun time with one another, like reminiscing about that. That's what this episode is, and especially with Spartacus and Crassus, where they're like saying, hey, remember, it's kind of weird. It's like saying how it's kind of weird how back then when we were slaves for Bariades, we were like almost killed each other. I'm surprised. Spartacus like, I'm surprised we didn't kill each other. It's just like a sad goodbye episode for these characters, and it's not as good times right now as for Marcus, because Marcus is like right now he's pretty pissed. Like, he's pissed the fact that Kore is gone, left with the rebellion without, like, he doesn't know why, and also he's really on edge because he sees Spartacus like right there. He's right there in his sights, and he's been too eager. He's like really eager to attach this guy and find Corin's and confront her and saying, why did she do this? Since he does not know that Corey, we find out Corey actually decided to leave just because she doesn't want to be anywhere near Tiberius. She's like, does not want to be in his presence at all. So, and it looks like she's not BSing. It looks like she's legitimately there to like join Spartacus group, just to like support, at least like, you know, just as long as it's away from Tiberius, basically. And we see Julius Caesar. He actually okay, my bad. I'm getting off. I got off order. But we see Crassus at this point. He figures out that his scouts figure out that Spartacus and Crixus are about to, you know, split ways, and then he's conflicted, saying whether should we go to Spartacus or should we go towards Crixus, who's going towards Rome. And then Julius Caesar is saying, no, we got to go to Rome. We have to always protect Rome. Like why? Like, and then but then Marcus says Spartacus is like right there. He's right there. We have him. And of course, Tiberius is always supportive of his father, so he's on that side too. So then it gets to a heated argument with Julius Caesar and Tiberius, where Julius Caesar is like saying, "Look, you have your father's ear. He listens to you. Persuade him into going to Rome." And like Tiberius is like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. We see Spartacus right there, and I'm gonna always support my father. I'm gonna do that." So it gets to heated argument to the point where Julius Caesar says out loud, like, he knows what Tiberius did to Corey, you know, and he threatened to say, you know what? He threatened to say, hey, I'm gonna tell Marcus what you did. He smashes that over Crassus's head, and then after that, two of his men, Tiberius' men come in, holds down Julius Caesar, and this scene just made me say, what the. He actually takes Julius Caesar and rapes him. He rapes the Julius Caesar, which I truly did not see it coming. I'm like, as soon as he pulled Julius Caesar's pants down, I was like, no way. And I don't think it was anything about like for sexual pleasure. It is pretty much about dominance. You know, it's like he just wants to prove to Julius Caesar that I'm more dominant than you by, you know, raping him. And that was just like, wow, I can literally tell he's literally butthurt from that. Shut up. Anyway, yeah, and we go back to Spartacus, and there's only a few parts I didn't like about this episode, like that comes up in this point of the story where, you know, Gannicus is with Sybil. He seems happy, and Saxon's taking it really well. And I kind of hope he didn't go with that route, because I don't know, I'm just a fan of Saxa. Like, out of all the females in this season, she's my favorite. And I think she's taking it well. She's not taking it like, like that kind of thing. I'm still like kind of like, I'm not saying I hate Sybil. I rather prefer Saxa, honestly. Like, she's like for me, I like her. She's a better character. She's a fighter. She doesn't mind to speak her mind. She's just a fun woman. While Sybil seems a bit too innocent for me. Or at least for Gannicus, at least. And then also during this time, Spartacus actually, you know, he does it with Laeta. And again, this is one of the relationships in the show which I didn't like, because we can see it building up right from the get-go. But I kind of wish that they didn't go with this route. I wish that they didn't have to introduce Spartacus to another woman. I was hoping they would stick with Sora and Mira. They didn't. I felt this was a bit. This is the first time in a long time I felt this sex scene was forced. Which is weird, because sex scenes are like plentiful in this series, but this is the only time I felt like, we didn't really need that. And I'm not saying I hate Laeta, I kind of wish they just didn't go with that route with Spartacus getting another woman. I wish they. That's my only thing I didn't like about this episode. But back to the main point. The final act of this episode has got to be one of the most emotional scenes in a long time from this series. Okay, so we see Crixus, Naevia, Agron, and their half of Spartacus' army like break off, and they go towards Rome. They fight a few legions. They're winning. They're kicking ass, taking names. It was awesome. After that, they see one more legion they gotta take out before they get to Rome. They take him out. They win easily. It's all a celebration. Crixus has some amazing lines saying, "Shall we begin? Shall we begin?" Like, I don't think I can do it justice if I say it, basically. At this point, we see Crassus' army right there. They actually decide to go to Rome and take on Crixus himself. Which I wonder what made their decision. I'm pretty sure Tiberius finally agree with Julius Caesar, but still, you see Julius Caesar, he's like still like bruised up. He's like saying, he's pretty pissed about, you know, what Tiberius did. And so we have another fight ensue with the rest of Crixus' army against Crassus, and they're just totally outnumbered. It's just so sad to see. And we see Agron. He looked like he's about to fight Caesar again, but then Tiberius comes in and slashes his stomach right then and there. I'm like, and then he falls to the ground and dies. The first of the major cast member goes out like that. And I was like, oh my god. It was just, and out of all people to do it, Tiberius to kill Agron. I was like, wow. And I know people are gonna complain about like, oh, he should have gone out fighting like a boss. I'm like, okay, then I hate when people complain about that if someone dies in a certain series, because not everyone's gonna go out like a boss. Not everyone's gonna be like taking out like 100 guys before they die. Because if people keep doing that, it's not gonna be as epic as when it's done. It's not. It's gonna be like overplayed. It's gonna be a point where it's gonna be overplayed. And the fact that it's war, like, even though you could be a great warrior, you could die at any moment in war. Anything could happen in big battles like this. Things like this could happen in war, basically. I just want to reiterate the fact that people can die just like that in big battles, and it's gonna be like, it won't be honorable. It won't be like all badass, like sending a bunch of corpses while you see more people coming. Like, ah, no, it's not gonna be like that. It's just fact. But still, it's sad to see that Agron goes out like that, and it doesn't end there. We see Crixus and Navia taking on a crap load of Romans before Julius Caesar comes out, beats down Navia. Crixus comes in and fights Caesar and takes him down. And before he deliver the killing blow, Tiberius again comes up from behind him and stabs Crixus through the back with a spear. And I was like, dude, seriously? Oh, wow. Tiberius took out these two characters the same way in the same episode, like near the same scene. I was like, and just to see Crixus, the undefeated Gaul, on his knees with blood coming out, dying, was just something that I never expected to see. But we all know, like, for me, I studied history on Spartacus, and the entire time as this season has been going, I knew for deep down that Crixus is going to die. It's history. It was history that Crixus does die. And the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, I can't help but to think that he's not gonna make it out of this season. It's just like, it's sad. And we see Tiberius come in, takes his sword, holds it to Crixus, and Marcus says, you know what, we're gonna send a message to Spartacus and tell him that he's gonna join Crixus' fate. And he decides to take out Crixus' head. He tells Tiberius to take out Crixus' head in front of Navia, like right then and there. And we don't actually, we see a reflection in Navia's eyes of Crixus' head, but we don't actually see the head, the sword coming through. But still, like, the fact that Crixus is gone, it's just, it was, I'm like, I was wordless. I can't believe I just saw. Even though we all, deep down, who actually, decided to look up Spartacus' history, we knew it was going to happen eventually. And this just proves that this is the end of Spartacus' story. Like, there's only 2 episodes left of the series. And, yeah, I'm just happy that Crixus went out with a bang, with taking out as many Romans as possible before getting stabbed in the back by Tiberius. I was like, dude, no, man, no. And I'm hopefully, and it looks like the preview of the episode shows it, hopefully they do what Spartacus did when he found out Crixus died in history. Because I'm not going to say right now, but he does something pretty badass to avenge Crixus in history. And it looks like in the preview of the next episode, it looks like he's going to do it. And I just can't wait to see that. And I hope Tiberius, that little bastard, gets it. I can tell a lot of people want him dead at this point, and a lot of fans probably want him dead either. But I hope he gets it. I really hope he gets it, because it's coming to him. I thought Julius Caesar was gonna get him, but apparently no. Tiberius turned the tables on him, and hopefully whatever happens next episode, Tiberius gets what's coming to him. But yeah, great episode. The only things I didn't like was with Gannicus and Sybil and Spartacus and Laeta. But other than that, Very emotional episode. Great. I loved it. And that's all I gotta say. 2 episodes left of the series, and hopefully by the end of the series, we get a satisfying conclusion to Spartacus' story. That's all I gotta say. And this MediaShinobi signing out. And one more thing. Peace out to the undefeated Gaul Crixus.